Well, we have a contract sent to the Seekers by a Captain Zemnos, Nil Zemnos, captain of the Ullethtir Guard. Ullethtir has been plagued of late with images of citizens roaming the streets aimlessly, and many have reported losing time or even collapsing without warning. My own guard have gotten nowhere after countless interviews of victims and witnesses alike. The officers of the Order offer no answers either, though they assure me it is due to no licensed activity, as if that should stay my concerns. The king is set to visit sometime in the coming weeks, and I will not have him see my city in such a state. With this in mind, I call upon your organization as a representative of the good people of Ullethtir. As a note, the order referenced in that means the Order of Mages. They are active in this city, quite active. So that is a consideration for our wizard.
Remind me, I have an old as shit magic license, right?
You
Is
do.
that what we said? Do I keep it current? Do I need to do anything with it? Is there like a yearly fee?
So there is a fee. I believe we determined that you... Actually, I wrote it on your sheet. Not your character sheet, your actual page.
It's like,
I remember doing this.
Oh, my world annual page. I figured out what he meant now.
Yeah. Or maybe I just wrote it in the notes for one of the sessions. But anyways, it is... yeah, you have an old one, and you do maintain it, but... Yeah, I think we said it was something like... you had, like, a longer-term thing. So you weren't paying, like... super often. You paid like 15 years ago and it set you for a long time or something like that, you know?
Dope.
So you should be good for like divination stuff in town, but you're not going to be good for shooting a fireball in the city. There's not really any sort of license you can get to do that, so you know, things to keep in mind. Shouldn't be a big
just
issue.
get a fireball spell.
I know. Well, here we go with the warnings. And it doesn't mean, you know, instant smiting from above. It might just mean a conversation.
Actually, I didn't prepare the fireball spell, I'll be honest.
So we as we often do, are opening in Kedwell. As the three of you arrive, Zahel, I don't recall where you live or if you have a single residence.
I don't either. I believe we said we just went with lives in the city. Where,
okay.
Yeah, nearby, right?
Then all three of you are nearby. Which is very convenient. Elantra has a place in the city, and Perses lives in the forest that's literally right next to the city. So
convenient.
Extremely. Maybe that's why the three of you were the ones chosen, because you are around. Sometimes it'd be that way.
Who they got on hand?
Yeah.
Only the most nearby of heroes.
So for some geographical reference, the Kedwell and Arrow's Edge, the city that Kedwell sits right outside of, are like northeast on the continent, pretty far up. Ullethtir is far west, so it's not quite coastal, but it's pretty far over there.
We gonna take a portal ride?
Bit of a hike. One thing that you do notice, Elantra and Perses, you recognize someone. who is having a conversation with Q, the Tengu alchemist of the Seekers. This person is an auton made of glass with iron joints, who accompanied you on your trip to the mausoleum. It is Etch.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
She has in her hands a cloth with something sat on top of it, like it's like an unfurled cloth that clearly used to wrap this object, but she's showing it to Q right now. As you all, let's say, as you leave the actual signing ceremony thing.
Can I spy what the item is?
You sure can. They're not doing anything to try and hide it or anything like that. So what you see is a sword grip with like a little fragment of the blade coming out, only maybe an inch or so of the actual blade, clearly broken through some violent action. And there's intricate designs carved all through the handle. And it is lit up for you, Elantra. As many things often are, and many items of interest.
It's magically lit. It's lit.
Has some sick LED lights. An RGB sword handle.
Yes, this is a gamer sword handle.
An RGB one.
So that is going on. Anyone going to approach, or you continuing on having places to go?
I can approach. I don't remember the exact context of the conversations we had, but this might be like one of those things where Perses remembers them, but they don't remember exactly where. So.
Yeah. So the essentially, you spent about a week in a caravan with her, a large Goliath man named.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's one of that group. So there were 4 of them. She was one of them. I don't think you talked to her a ton.
I was the goose outside.
Yeah, you were flying as a goose for a lot of that trip. And Elantra, I think you mostly spoke with Alaric, the gnomish
Yes.
wizard.
Yes. Yeah, retroactively, we were probably playing Quadradia.
Yeah. That almost certainly came up. I think at the time we had you playing card games with Aram.
I think we were all trying to cheat at card games in clever ways, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
I remember that.
Well,
yep.
Alaric wasn't trying to cheat, but he was being cheated upon. So as you approach, you hear sort of the middle of this conversation, and Q responds to whatever she said with,
"Well, yeah, well, we'll take a look, of course. You don't have any idea how it works, or?" "No, we haven't been able to get it to activate or do anything, really, but it is clear to us that it is some magical artifact, and felt it would be potentially dangerous and shouldn't be in our hands. Yours are much more capable."
Percy's probably not used to much conversation comes in, not being the most charismatic guy. Hey, long time no see. Oh, what's that thing you got there? Remember us?
Perses! Hello!
Oh, yeah, you remember my name. Yeah, it was the goose. How are you? How fare you?
Yes, the goose. Yes, I do recall you helped us greatly at the mausoleum. This actually we found at the mausoleum. After you cleared it out, it was in a one of the sarcophagi. We eventually got it open, and it was resting with the corpse. And we as I said to Q, we're a bit worried it might be dangerous.
Well, I know you got those magical eyes. I point to Elantra. Do you see anything weird with it?
Might have a closer look.
Of course.
Is it Arcana?
Knowledge Arcana to identify auras during detect magic.
What do I get with a 27?
You get it all, baby.
Oh yeah.
It is moderate conjuration aura.
Oh shit.
Daedric's one.
I need to fucking moderate. What does that mean? Detect magic.
Moderate's like higher than 6, lower than 15.
Moderate on a magic item is 6th through 11th level caster.
So I'm getting chiclets.
Okay.
That's my dice.
So yeah, is moderate.
Rad.
Now, when you say is it the level it is capable or to use it?
Just like a measure of its power. You can be a first level character and use it.
Yeah, so that's
Theoretically.
basically it's strength almost.
Yeah. Mostly a guideline so DMs don't break their games too badly without knowing what they're getting themselves into.
It has an aura of conjuration, which I'm sure you've divined already.
Yes. We weren't able to get any further than that, though. It simply doesn't seem to do anything by any attempts we made.
Curious.
I don't really do swords that much. Not sure how I would go about if as academics such as yourselves weren't able to activate it. We'll certainly give it a try, but any of you have any ideas?
Q says, looking to the three of you.
I have a healthy fear of magic, so I might not. Be the best.
I have
Try
an
hitting it.
unhealthy fascination with magic. Did I prepare the identify spell? I did.
Did you try hitting it or hitting something with it?
We did try swinging it once, but we're worried about doing it more than that. Would you like to try? Maybe outside?
Detect magic. Sure.
Etch will offer the shattered sword hilt over to whoever will grab it.
If while this is being tested, Perseus would like to be around 600 feet away from it.
Sure, I'll go grab it. Oh, you're about to go.
I was going to take it.
Go for it. Go for it.
I imagine we have like a big yard.
Yeah, there's quite a good amount of land that is owned by the Seekers.
Great. I want to go where there's sort of like I think 30 feet would be safe, so nothing within 15 feet. Because I'm a wizard and I'm a wild card like that.
Sure. There's like
an
an archery range or something out back that you can go to. There's, standing in the middle of that, there's not going to be anything within like 40 feet of you.
Great. I'm gonna start with a spellcraft check, which can let me identify properties that it has, right?
Mm-hmm. Pretty good. Pretty good. So what you're able to figure out, examining this aura and how it responds to all of your handling of it, you're not really sure how specifically it accomplishes this, but there is some sort of blade that is produced where there no longer is one. So there is some sort of conjured blade, but you're not quite certain how to get it to come out yet.
Is there any writing or runic symbols or anything on it that I can discern on the handle?
Give me a perception check. You're confident that there are no arcane runes or specifically magical writing on it, but you can't quite make out some of the more fine details that could be mundane writing, but you're not sure. You can't really tell. It's too small and a little bit worn with age.
I'd like to use prestidigitation to try to clean off any dirt.
Okay, give it a little shine.
And then I would like to take a small bit of ink from my bag, and I would like to rub it across the surface to try to run it through grooves so that runes would be more like any writing, like mundane writing, might be more visible. I'm trying to figure out if there's like a written phrase or word on here that might be a verbal component to activate this sword.
Okay, so you're able to clear off some of this, and as you like transfer over this pattern with some ink, it does begin to become clear that there is some writing on here. What languages do you know?
I have written that I know Common and Elven.
Okay, you should know more than that. Which is
Yeah,
my
I
bad
just
for not
never
checking
fleshed it
but-
out.
So you can pick a couple at random, or you can give me an intelligence check, and we can backfill that you know this language if you do well enough.
Just straight intelligence.
Yeah. Okay, that's not gonna do it. So
So I should know 2 more, you said?
you should know your intelligence at level 1. You should know basically common plus your intelligence modifier number of languages.
Okay, so I would know 5 languages then?
Yeah. And we gave you Elven for free.
Okay. So I should know 6 total
So
languages
6.
then?
Yeah, Elven doesn't count in your 5.
Alright, I'm gonna go Draconic, Sylvan. What are some fun languages, guys?
You can hit up the languages page in World Animal for a list.
Enerdim. Culture? Languages.
It is under culture, yes.
Abyssal. Celestial. Common. Common sign language.
Like looking through Celestial.
I feel like What's the one I want?
You say Infernal yet? Infernal
I
might
didn't
be
say
one.
Infernal yet. Infernal could be good. Yeah. 1, 2, 3. That's 4.
There's Goblin, Gnome, Gnoll, Giant, Dwarven.
There's also sort of there's a similar languages column, which essentially means even if you don't know a language, if you know one of the similar languages, you'll have a better chance at deciphering stuff written in that. So you could maybe spread yourself out more strategically so that you know more of the languages that have, sister languages and stuff.
Would that be like Celestial and Infernal? Or those two? Or those completely opposite?
Infernal and Abyssal are similar. Rather, they share the same script.
Gotcha.
But like Orcish and Goblin are similar, as are like Elven and Gnomish.
Makes sense.
But so like knowing Elven and Sylvan, they're both similar with Gnomish, so you have a pretty good shot of deciphering, if like picking out solid meaning out of something written in Gnomish.
Yeah, I think Common, Elven, Draconic, Sylvan, CSL, and Infernal is good. I think that's what I'm going with.
Okay. Then give me a linguistics check. Because this is not written in any of those. You know that much. Okay, with a 15. Oops, that's the wrong page. With a 15, you're not able to translate it, but you are able to identify the script and sort of work your way back from there. This is written in Auvergne, which is the writing system, and there's only one major language that uses that writing system, and that is Aves, which is the Tengu language.
Q. Is Q out here?
Yes.
He hollers from 50 feet away. He also
Could you
smart
come
enough
here?
he'll just shuffle over.
What does this say? It appears to be written in oven.
He squints, takes off some like goggles that he normally wears and replaces them with thicker ones and gets really close to it.
Good eye. I did not notice this when I was looking at it before, but that is indeed... Yes, okay. Well, it appears to be it's a listing of names. It's like a house, an old Tengu house, and maybe all of the holders of this weapon, or it's a little unclear. It's missing some context.
So it appears to be a list of, a big list of names. It's not quite like a command word or anything like that, but a little hint into the history behind the item, at least.
Interesting. I didn't want to do this, but I'll try one more thing. And I'd like to cast the Identify spell, which will give me a +10 on a spellcraft check to... It works like Detect Magic, but I get a +10 on a spellcraft check, which I didn't very correctly copy over from before I knew how to copy spells over.
Okay.
So it'll be spellcraft +10.
So 28?
Yes, 28.
Okay, I had a mini heart attack looking at that. I'm like, how do you get an 8 total on spellcraft and then add 10?
I have
But
plus
no, you
9.
didn't. Yeah, you didn't. You can't actually, so that's good. With a 28, you figure it all out basically. Maybe pulling some hints from the fact that this is like a family heirloom, and or at least it seems to be. And maybe a little bit of hint into the history recalls, something hidden in deep back of your brain you don't quite remember, but it's in there, and you remember just a little bit of some story. This weapon, or rather, what's left of this weapon, the blade will activate when in battle. Essentially, you would. It's drawn off of the emotional state of the wielder, so it's something that you could fake if you wanted to, or you could try to at least. But it would also sort of, as soon as you got into any sort of threatening situation, it would a blade would spring out of this as soon as you needed it. It also, you can tell, draws on the fortitude of the wielder in order to empower itself. So the specifics I'll not read off entirely, like in full here, but essentially it will temporarily reduce constitution in exchange for enhancement bonuses to the blade.
Interesting.
So it'll lower your max HP while you have the weapon out, and then when you sheath it, you'll get that back. But the more you sacrifice, the stronger it is. So
you have the choice.
Yes.
That's cool.
So you're confident you could get this to come out if you either tried to push the emotional state, or if you just were in a fight.
Gotcha. Do I think that a spell like Calm Emotions would mean that the sword goes away?
Let me double check that spell.
I don't even know if it exists in the system, I'll be honest.
It does.
Okay, I feel better. While you're looking at that, I'm just gonna... I think what you actually see is Elantra is kind of like sitting cross-legged with like the cloth that the handle was wrapped in is like on the I assume it's like a dusty sort of, the grass has been trampled a little bit in the archery range and not like super well kept because we shoot arrows at it and other things. So just like sitting cross-legged, and there's like little bits of like arcane spark stuff happening, and they're just sitting there like,
Yeah,
spell
sat
book in
amongst
left hand, right hand just doing like weird gestures and stuff.
Sat amongst the dust with like random arrows that haven't been pulled out of the ground that were left here. There's also like blast marks where someone was testing like thrown bombs and stuff, and all sorts of cuts and nicks through the dirt. You do think that Calm Emotions would work, although Calm Emotions itself is broken if violent action is taken against the target, so it might not work for very long depending on the situation they're in, but yes, in short.
So I explain to the group essentially what the sword is and does.
You will when you get probably near me. I'm still far away, but yeah.
Yeah, I like wrap the thing back up in cloth and like put the book away and walk back over.
Okay, cool. Then I guess you bell me over then. I'll listen.
So at its essence, the blade is they're an as-needed basis. When you are in the heightened emotional state of combat, the blade appears, which in itself is interesting, but perhaps the more interesting part is that it will draw upon the strength and fortitude of the wielder to empower itself. And the more you can give to the sword, the stronger it is, enabling the wielder to be something of a glass cannon, if you will.
Interesting.
Etch just sort of wide-eyed nods as they listen to what you're saying about this. It's a little out of her depth, but she's not one for weapons much, but is very fascinated that you're able to divine all of this just by moving it around in your hands and looking real close, as far as she could tell.
So there you have it, Etch. There's your mystery weapon.
Oh, well, that you should definitely keep it in that case. We have no use for that. Maybe someone, actually, I will stay and study it a little bit further to get more of its history determined, but I don't think the blade should leave your care, the Seeker's care.
Sure. Q can assist you with the. I don't mean to presume which languages you know or not, but if you need help with the Aves, Q, thankfully, is quite fluent and quite knowledgeable, I'd imagine.
Oh yeah, well, I am a little rusty. Don't get to speak the the mother tongue very often around all these varied races. You know how it is.
Do Seekers have an HR department? I'm sorry.
I mean, I imagine you could raise concerns up with someone like Ian.
Yvette hasn't made one yet. So yeah, I'm just gonna leave it the handle in Q's workshop.
Well, I'll put that on the list also.
them
I just
to
got here.
research.
Nice.
I certainly can't use it.
Yeah, it's not well. All right, so to get mechanical details out of the way, I don't think actually druids only care about metal armor, right? They don't care about weapons. They can use whatever they want.
Yeah, as long as they're not wearing metal, like
Okay.
armored person, yeah, but they can use metal weapons.
Okay.
Like I use a scimitar.
So yeah, it is as far as you could tell, a one-handed sword of some. I mean, it's hard to see or to divine what it would be specifically beyond that, but it's a one-handed sword of some sort. So this isn't really the group for it, but if any of you want to take it, that's available to you.
I don't think it suits me the best, so I don't think it would.
Yeah, this seems like, if you were there for that description, I imagine, seems scary. This sounds like scary magic, right?
Yeah, it sounds like it sucks the life force out.
Yeah, like that's not great. Not great sounding, at least.
I let my life force in me. Away from magic.
Yeah, if
Elantra, by the way, does not seem phased at all by sacrificing life force to make a more powerful thing.
Don't you have like 12 health though?
Up to 27, thank you very much.
26 goes in the blade.
Yeah, so yeah, this is certainly, as far as gaining power goes, well up Elantra's alley. But actual usage, less up their alley. But so if no one is gonna try and experiment with the sword in the field, at least right now, then Q and Etch will take it back into, inside and get that situated. Get Etch set up somewhere she can study it a little bit more.
Does it work if I tape it to a stick? No, I'm good.
I mean, Elantra, if that is a real question, Elantra would know, no, it does not. You would need to be actually holding it.
That is a real question.
Okay, yes, then no.
No, as it were.
The physical gripping of the handle is important in its activation. So, with that taken care of, Etch all sorted out, y'all are free to gather your gear, and you can work out that the trip from here to Ullethtir by horse is going to be like 3.5 days along the Moonrise Road, which is the main thoroughfare going east-west up here.
You said a day?
3.5 days.
3.5 days.
Bit of a hike. The alternative is via portal. You can head into town, and for a nominal fee, you can get Celestial Finance to ship you somewhere where they have another branch. Ullethtir's a pretty sizable city, so they definitely have a branch there.
Okay.
Is Percy's up for the magic trip?
I've done it before. I'll do it again. It's okay. It's like getting a cow up the stairs. You can do it. It's just going to.
He's not happy about it, but he'll do it.
It's getting the cow down the stairs. Yeah.
It's even worse. But you can do it with enough pushing, I guess. You'll push me through the portal like. Yeah, it's fine though. I like the idea at least. I don't know. I gotta figure out. I've not looked up what a ration is, a field ration. What that is considered. What is that called?
They're just called rations, I believe.
Rations.
Just rations. Okay. I like scavenging, but if I don't need to do it for a nominal fee.
So the fee is 100 gold plus 25 per person, so it'd be 175 to get all three of you through.
3 ways.
Okay, so that's not
58 gold per.
Yeah, it doesn't math out great.
58 gold, 3 silver,
Actually,
and 3 copper.
I have 4018, so that'd be a perfect subtraction for me.
Must be nice. I have 698.
Couldn't be me. Couldn't be the ending 8. I'm 0 now. I got 0 at the end.
Wait, how much does Percy's have?
I have 3960 now.
3960, gotcha. Yeah, because I need to subtract.
So there's various equipment that you want to buy and pick up that it sounds like y'all are handling now, and there's also artifacts available that you can bring with you.
I think at this point, I'll just grab the kind of vine wrap again.
Okay.
Per usual.
Eyeglass. The gross vest that gives me AC.
The Murine's vest, or the Murine vest.
Yeah, I should really open the page that these are on.
New stuff is
Perses, I believe you still have the Timekeeper's shawl. As far as I know, that has stayed on your person. Zahel, as you retrieve the vine wrap from the Seeker's store, and it coils up your arm eagerly as it often does, you notice something a little different. There's little, like, bristly thorns that poke out of it, harmless to you, and then retreat back into it, and it feels almost heavier. And if you go look at the Vine Wrap page, or refresh it if you're already on it, there is a new ability that has been unlocked.
Ensnaring bristles.
Yes.
Yes.
Delph, what's the page called for all the items?
It is called Artifacts. I made a splash page that lists all of them. All the ones you have access to. So it's a top level one in the
I see
table of
it,
contents.
Yeah. Thank you.
And since it's a category page, you have to click the little square with the arrow launch thing to get to that specific page. Otherwise, you can just look at the list in the table of contents.
And how large is the area?
It is the same size as the
Oh.
spell entangle, so it is a 40-foot radius spread.
Okay. Vengeance! Suffer.
I would like to take the Monocle of the Chemist, the Cat's Eye Amulet, the Murine Vest. What other things would be wizardly?
Wizardly. You usually take the shoes.
Oh, of course, the passenger shoes. I already have an aura on my character sheet for that. I just assume that I have them on all the time. It's the claret candle.
That's a new one.
Snuff it out and get teleported, I believe.
Incorporeal images of the candle closely follows a creature that lit it until its light extinguished. This image emits light just as the candle does and follows using whatever locomotion method, legs, floating, etc. Candle goes out, the lightning creature is immediately teleported to the location of the candle as near as possible, provided it is on the same plane. Candle burns. Oh yeah, hell yeah, keeping that.
Okay, I think 5 things is where I'm gonna cap you. So
I've got a vest on. I'm wearing an amulet, lantern, and monocle, and candle in the pack. Yeah, that feels good.
oh no, that's 6 then if you have the shoes as well.
I have the shoes as well. Yeah.
I'm gonna need you to leave one behind.
Anyone else want to take the lantern?
I was gonna say I can take the lantern off you.
Excellent.
Zell got real attached to the first 2 items he found.
So I can add 1 temp AC.
Is Percy's just gonna ride with the Timekeeper shawl and that's it?
Also, do we have that? What was that? That lantern that we camp with that makes us.
Yeah, that's what.
Oh yeah.
Zell just grabbed.
Oh, good. Yeah. Sorry, I was reading grenades.
It's cool.
No, yeah, I think that's it. That's
Let me
all
try a
I'm
potion.
also has.
I'm bringing 4 potions.
Same. That's what I have from
How many potion? How much is a potion again?
Someone get the Alexa.
250?
That's the monocle. I guess.
The potion of cure light wounds is 50 gold pieces.
250 is the next one.
It's 300 for the next one.
Oh well, I'm just wrong on all accounts then.
Yeah, so I'm gonna buy 10 if that's cool. Potions of lesser healing. or cure light wounds.
Do I want to buy any spell scrolls?
You like to actually use instead of to learn.
Yeah. What do they cost again? Let me go up to the pins in 25 for first level, 150 for a second, 375 for a third.
Oh, they're just half the potion cost. Oh, that makes sense. Because you have to actually know how to cast spells in order to use a spell scroll, but you don't for a potion.
Pay for the convenience. Makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I think I would bring a scroll of perhaps a scroll of Summon Monster 2. Perhaps a scroll of Rope Trick. It's another 300 gold. Okay, I'm not buying anything else. I'm D&D poor.
Okay, I will be right back while y'all sort that stuff out. In a jiff, I will return.
Sounds good.
I'm also going to be right back in it, Jeff.
Okay.
Captain, so I'm actually going to, if you want to hold on to the lantern,
Word. Yeah.
I'm actually going to pick up the ghost needle.
Okay. Yeah. How much does that weigh? Does that weigh anything?
Negligible. It's like a pound. Not worth. Your strength is. You have the highest strength, like out of all of us. I think fine as far as load goes.
Oh yeah. I just want to make sure.
2 pounds.
Okay.
You have to say, what's your strength at?
I have 17 strength. 17 strength.
Oh, don't have the highest strength. Okay.
I'm a druid. Yeah, it's
That
it
makes
started as
sense.
like 15.
Yeah, I'm more so just thinking Minotaur.
Yeah,
type of
big.
thing.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's still high, but it's not like crazy.
Yeah, I was gonna say I just.
I can carry like what, 43 more pounds though.
I'm back.
So Perses is carrying the lantern, and I picked up the ghost needle.
Ooh, okay.
That just seems useful to have.
Yeah, it's a fun one.
And helps if you know how to spell needle.
I should also actually take notes of who has what, because up to this point I've been relying on my memory, but we're getting to the point now where you have enough items that that becomes difficult.
Especially when someone comes out of the storeroom like they just hit a thrift shop.
Yeah. When a certain wizard walks out with an armful.
I'm back.
I was gonna say, launch just deploy. He's back. They're back.
I gotta bring the list back up to remember who's got what.
I already took out the money for the trip over there. Great.
Launch, I think you missed this one bit. We also got the ghost needle.
Ghost Needle.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, right. I remember that one.
In corporeal form, once you stab yourself.
Yes.
Okay. I've got
a record now of what everyone took. Boop, boop, boop.
Didn't have many snack foods in the house, so I'm just grabbing handfuls of a bag of shredded cheese right now.
Nice.
Dude, cheese is fucking awesome.
Cheese, always a good choice.
I would have like toasted a bagel, but that takes too long. I don't have a toaster oven. I gotta play Pathfinder. Gotta find a path, you know?
Hello.
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 Okay.
Hello.
Just making sure my mic was still working.
It is. Okay, so if we're all good equipment wise, then it sounded like y'all were going to portal your way there.
Mm-hmm. Already paid the gold.
Nice. So you head into the nearby city, Arrow's Edge, and find the Celestial Finance branch that at least two of you have used before for the missing colleague. As you enter, quick conversation with someone at the front desk, and you're escorted back to a door at the back of the building. Inside a familiar sight, there's a number of altars. There's a painted like runes being smeared on the wall in amber dust. And as the assessor that works here begins clutching their holy symbol and chanting something, after completing the drawing, the wall sort of zooms off into the distance, revealing a bright gray void ahead of you.
I move. I'm like, I'm under my ready for it.
As you each step through one at a time, there's that loud, low hum in the air. It's cool for just an instant as you step through from one place to another, finding yourself suddenly moving from this sort of darker gray stone room that is the portal room in Arrow's Edge to a bright white room that is the Celestial Finance branch in Ullethtir. You are greeted by a drow man who's standing at the opposite end of the room, counting some coin that was in a bag that he was holding. Dark purple skin, almost black, it's so dark. Pinkish eyes and silver hair. He'll walk up and after waving sort of wordlessly motion you towards the door to enter the rest of the branch, and quickly point you to their various services, giving you what is obviously a canned sort of sales pitch for all the stuff that they do here, and like various deals that they have going and shit like that. Boom. So what you see in this building, and as you look out of its large front windows, these like stained glass windows at the front of the building, you can see some of the other buildings in here are these white cob walls with like arched wood frame doors. Everything is sort of round. It doesn't have it's not like, boxed square corners and stuff like you would find in most other cities. So you see these sorts of white or lightly painted. There's like bright yellow buildings and some that are like pale blue. It's all very like bright and cheery in all of these structures. And they all have this similar sort of rounded nature to them.
You don't really see this much in my field, no pun intended, because I'm in nature and everything. This is crazy.
I thought you lived in a forest, not a field.
Well, I mean, it's part of nature. Okay, well, it isn't a direct pun. Oh, do you not see what's in front of us? This is cool.
Is this architectural style typical of any like certain species, or just like a thing locally?
Would that be a knowledge engineering?
Did we find
a use for the elusive knowledge engineering? I think we did. I would also accept
I already rolled
local if you would rather that, but
they're
as
near as the same.
Okay. With a 16, I think that this is sort of like this is like New Elven sort of architecture. It doesn't have a lot of history to it, but this is sort of the hip new way.
I knew it.
Yeah. So, and actually, if you want to give me a history check, you might know something about this city in particular. Oh yeah.
I'm good at knowing things. Trust me.
You know lots. So this city is actually a pretty newly built city. It was sort of a commissioned city. They raised the original settlement in order to build it, sort of as a gift to the current ruler of the city, who is goes by the name of Tal Novam. So it is only like 100 years old, a little less than that. And so it was just sort of built up by the kingdom, like to this guy's specifications, meeting to his taste. And it was built with the intention. So it was built not with like, fortunately at least, not with the money of the government. It was built sort of paid for out of the pockets, or at least mostly out of the pockets of the Gladamain family, which is the ruling family of the kingdom. Because this person, Tal Navam, she is a close friend of the family. So it was intended to be like a second jewel of the kingdom, sort of the West Coast complement to the capital city.
Mm.
You would also know that they have a, like right in the middle of the city, a huge manor called the Ivory Manor. It's the biggest building in the city, sits right in the middle. It's just the centerpiece that everything else is built around, and it rises higher than everything else. It's supported by ironwood frames, which are very expensive, and it's all brilliant white with huge windows of stained glass and stuff.
Dope. I like the style being New Elven.
And actually, I should also say, Novam is not even an elf. She is a Samsarin. Just has a lot of elf friends. I mean, they're both Fae races, so they've got some lots of shared ancestry. But yeah.
Fancy.
So that is the city you now find yourselves in. This sort of like, it's almost like painfully clean and new. And as you, I assume, leave the bank, unless you have banking business to take care of. I don't want to. I mean, if you want to do some investing, I'm not going to stop you.
All my money's in a tree.
As you step out, it's like wintertime, or the equivalent. So it's cold anyways, but it sort of feels colder here than it should. There's trees painted, sort of, or not painted, but planted in between some of the buildings. Some of them are even built around like the larger trees. And when I say around, I mean like literally like there's a tree in the middle of a donut sort of situation for some of them. But all of the trees are barren, and there's no evidence anywhere in the city that they ever had leaves. It is, they've been removed. It is spotless. Even the people that you see walking around share, for the most part, this same sort of style. Lots of bright colors and light shades of things, particularly white and light grays.
Would I know if these trees would naturally have any foliage?
Yeah, it is. At this time of year, it's not unusual for them to be barren.
Okay.
They just sort of stand out, They look, since they're not in, part of a big forest, they're just sort of, in a lot of these cases, it's just sort of one tree, and then some building around it are like 3 trees, and then another building, they just look sort of out of place and weird when there's no leaves on them. And as you walk, you're periodically hit with like whips of wind as it comes through like an alleyway or something, making sure that the chill of the season never quite leaves you.
Zahel's gonna quickly comment. He doesn't like this place. It's too damn clean. He doesn't trust it. There's always filth. They're just hiding it.
To that point, the streets are pretty much spotless, made of these sheets of light gray stone. And from where you're at, you're near one of the outer walls. You're near the north gate as you emerge from this bank, and you can see a big wall of what's called tabby. It's speckled, so it's like this light gray wall speckled with blue, white, yellow. And as you look closer at it, it becomes clear that that's like part of the building material of these walls is like local seashells, so they have these sort of bright colors reflecting off on it. Very sturdy stuff, but it's sort of got like a stucco-y sort of texture.
Okay.
So that's the city you're in.
I love when we roll well and Dalf gets to do world building in game.
I do too. There's a lot of weird Googling that led to this particular city, so.
Yeah, I mean it sounds like a real freak show of a town. I'm not gonna lie, but I love it.
This place is barren of trees for the most part.
Well, they have the trees. They're just like that. And I point at the nearest just dead tree.
Oh, does something feel off? I don't even know. This area is so different to me for some reason.
I don't trust it.
Excellent.
Just well, it's the style of architecture of elves a bit younger than myself.
Would I, as a person who would know nature, would this be like an unseasonably cold winter or something of the sort? Would I know something about that?
Give me a knowledge nature. Yeah, I mean it's winter time. You're not sure too much about the specifics of how the season plays out in this part of the continent, because you're far enough away that it's notably different sometimes. But it doesn't seem like super unusual to you. More just like the sort of openness of things, and mixed with like these hits of wind that you keep getting as you walk around, maybe are making it feel colder than it is.
Okay.
You know, it's not like being outside when it's just still. The wind is the real killer.
Well, it doesn't. I don't know much about cold. But things check out on my end, I guess. For cold.
Right, where are we meant to go?
So you were commissioned essentially by the captain of the guard, Anil Zemnos.
I'm gonna prepare my spells accordingly before we leave, if that's all right. Give myself an hour to meditate. I wanna move over one ability to resist energy, pretty much to ice for communal resist energy.
Okay.
This is the same day, right?
Yeah, no, that teleportation is instant, more or less, and it doesn't take too long to go from Kedwell to Arrow's Edge, so it's been like 40 minutes.
Great.
Were we given instructions on where to find the captain, or do we kind of have to find the, I don't know,
barracks or whatever.
Yeah, you were not given instructions on how to find the captain. You were just told to find the captain, more or less.
I guess we start by looking for the barracks, then I would assume. Before leaving the bank, then would have asked that question.
Oh, yeah, ask for directions. Sir or madam, could you please direct me to the nearest...
Or just grab a random person seen on the street.
Yeah, you can certainly have asked someone at the bank. They'd be happy to help you. Or at least they will put on the happy customer service face to help you.
I'll fill out a survey.
Will you, though?
I'll try my best.
The person that you talk to, Zahel, in the Celestial Finance branch, does not know specifically where the central main guard post is, but they do know where 2 other guard posts are. So they'll give you directions to the closest one of those 2. And there's also, y'all can see at least 2 guards posted at the main gate that you're only at a minute walk from.
Okay. Well, I'll start making my way over there, unless you all have business to attend to.
I'm letting others take the lead for this bit.
You said the guards were in with an ice shot? I said?
Yeah, there's a couple at the main gate that you can see from here. And they sort of stand out from the rest of the populace. They have leather helmets and these bright yellow and white garments with tan leather plates sort of affixed to them around the arms and the shoulders and the chest and stuff.
So Zell will approach him and ask him if the captain's home. Or where can we find the captain?
Why are you looking for the captain?
He's got a job for us. We're hearing about a job.
Right, a job. Well, he'll be in the central post probably.
And that might be...
Ah, fully new to town then. Okay, well.
And he'll just hand on your shoulder, sort of point down a street and condescendingly give you directions to what is essentially the middle of the city.
It's called Central for a reason.
Wonderful. Thank you. Launcher grabs a fistful of shredded cheddar cheese.
Zell will aggressively shake his hand off of his shoulder and thank him for the directions. While walking away, he'll pop open a can of nice Hollow's Brew, chug it down, and throw it on the ground. Or toss it. By the way, how much is a 6-pack of Hollow's Brew weigh?
A 6-pack?
Get a 6er at the local convenience store.
You could certainly find someone who bottles up Hollow's Brew for you. It is a slightly illicit beverage, keep in mind. But
it's just water.
I'll be right back.
So I mean, they're normally 5 gold a piece, but I'll say you've got a guy. And you get a sort of bulk discount, so we'll say it's 24 gold for 6.
Okay. I was asking how much it weighed.
Oh, how much it weighed? Well, you got a discount out of me misinterpreting your question.
So I'm happy with that.
Fuck, I don't. Let's say 2 pounds.
Okay.
Pounds are hard, honestly. I don't have a great idea for them, so that's a guess.
I was always it's a weird metric, but a baseball glove is a pound.
Ah, okay.
I have so much context on baseball gloves because I handle them so often as an adult.
It's admittedly been quite a long time since I've picked up a baseball glove, but it's good to have any sort of point of reference at least.
Okay, so 12 ounces of water is 3/4 of a pound. So a 6-pack, assuming they're 12 ounces,
Is that just the water, or is that like a bottle?
That's just the water.
Okay.
So what's 12 times 6 is 72. 4.5 pounds of just the liquid, plus however much the bottles or bags or flasks or whatever weigh.
Okay. Let's say they're not going to be 12 ounces. They're going to be a little less. So let's make it 3 pounds, and we'll just call it a day.
Great.
Sounds good.
I'm kind of just going to ignore the glass weight.
Wait, these are cans.
Cans don't exist.
They're mason jars.
I suppose they could make like a thin metal thing, but I don't think you'd be able to put a top on it in any sort of sealed fashion with liquid inside without magic, which would make it way too expensive.
But I got a guy.
Your guy's, if he's doing magic on every single one of these, your guy's more expensive than you're gonna find anywhere else. List of things to invent. I bet's gonna invent the
It tastes
aluminum
better out of
can.
the glass anyway.
Either way, with the glass shattering on the ground, Zahel is just a little bit happier to know that not everything is in place, and that the guard probably has to go pick it up.
How close to the guard do you do this?
Within eyeshot, within eyesight, but
3.5
fairly
feet
far
away.
Well,
Like-
are you doing this as you're like walking away, or are you just standing still?
While walking away. This is like right out of like at the edge of thing before we turn a corner or something like that.
Okay. Then you'll turn a corner, and you may or may not receive any sort of repercussions for this action.
If I'm next, I guess I'm walking by. I'm like, Zahel, changed, man. What happened?
You've changed.
Are you okay?
I'm fine.
Can I make a sense moto check to see if he is fine?
I'm hurting inside so much.
Roll for depression check.
I can tell.
Obviously, this act of littering is a cry for help because of a deep pain. I mean, Zell, up to you to interpret a 17-sense motive how you will.
It was completely there's no motive behind it. Zell is fine. He is much happier now that not everything is in exact order.
Egg salad.
That too.
Okay, so this is the thing that only makes sense in my brain, but I like to replace the word excellent with the word egg salad because they're kind of similar,
I can see it.
and it's funny to me.
Yeah, it's not a huge leap from one to the other. So the three of you walking away from those two guards and towards the center of the city, following the directions you've been given to the central post. You do hear sort of in the distance behind you, like, "Hey!" as the guard notices what has gone down and does have to deal with this,
And might
but does
pick up
not care
a
enough to
little bit.
chase you down the street.
Okay.
You get sort of a fist wag from from the corner.
Why I order?
Yeah.
I show concern, but I move on.
So eventually you find your way to the City Guard Central Post, which is pretty clearly marked once you get there. But there is sort of a distinct lack of signage in the city itself. There's no like signs giving you the names of each street or anything like that. So it seems you're just sort of expected to know how to get places. But this building itself is at least labeled above the front door, so you know you're at the right place. There's one guard posted outside, and sort of every once in a while someone passes through, going in or out. It's mostly just guards moving around through here. But from the outside, so far, no one looks particularly special.
I'm assuming we'll need to go inside to find the captain.
Does it look like we could just walk inside?
I mean, it's
Ask
sort of up
around.
to you, I guess, whether you think you can. You haven't seen another local just walk in yet, but
I guess I go to the nearest guard and be like, "Hi, we're looking for the captain. We have a mission from the Seekers that we referred to from your captain that they would need work."
Captain Zemnos.
Yes, that name.
So the guard that is standing outside is a halfling woman with a pike that is taller than she is.
Do you have an appointment with the captain? He's a very busy man.
We are fresh out of the portal, ma'am, so no, we do not. Is there a way that we could schedule, or is he very, very busy? I'm sure I don't know if it's a bounty or something. Oh, I forgot what the actual was. I'm sorry.
Well, I guess you can just see if he has any openings. I don't really know his schedule. I just know he's busy most of the time. He doesn't really get out of the post that often.
Is there like an Outlook calendar? Or...
I would say just go in there and see if, knock on his door and see if you can get some of his time. He will not be shy to shoo you away if he can't meet with you, though.
Just making sure we weren't ruffling any feathers. Thank you very much. And then I guess we.
Oh, that's okay. I don't have any feathers.
Elbow, nod.
Yeah, she gives you a little wink and steps aside to clear the way to the front door so you can walk in uninhibited.
Nice. All right, I guess we'll just head towards the captain's quarters and try to knock.
Yeah, there is there's like a desk straight ahead, and the captain's office pretty clearly marked like just to the left of that, so you can't miss it really.
Nice.
And as you approach, someone walks out of the office, like right as you're getting up to the door. You almost... Actually, you're a big lad. They bump into you.
Oh, sorry. Didn't see you there.
It's a tiny Gath Lane guard. So they're literally flying. They're smaller than halflings, basically. Just the tiniest little fella.
Oh, sorry.
They give a dramatic look up at your gargantuan size before flitting around the other side of you.
Oh, no problem. And so I knock, I guess, on the door, even though it's open, just to signify that we're here and would like to seek audience, please. for the job. Don't want to kick the little halfling around accidentally. Make sure my feet are clear.
So you see, standing in the doorway, you see a gray elf man, tawny skin with like sort of East Asian features, short black hair. He's like full stress pose, head in, hand in his hair, head nearly on the desk, looking over some reports of some sort, and not super happy with the meeting he just had.
Yes, come in. Who are you?
Hi, we are with the Seekers. We were told that we have a contract that we would be willing to aid for. If you,
As soon as you say Seekers, he sort of like, his head flips up and he sort of like ruffles the papers, puts to sort of get them in order a little bit and look a little bit more put together than he was.
oh, no need to tidy up.
Right, well, yeah. I wasn't expecting you until like tomorrow or something. You were a little made pretty good time, I guess.
We took the portal.
Yes. I don't trust them myself.
I don't either, but they pushed me through it.
Yes, I pushed him.
I did want to crush him. I was either go forward or crush him.
So, you know what's going on here? It's weird. I don't have a lot of answers for you, unfortunately. Did you get the rundown? Did you see the write-up that I sent over, or did they just sort of kick you guys out the door?
I didn't personally forgot if there was a reading.
I've read the leisure you sent. I can't speak for the others, but
Got the gist of it.
I forgot.
essentially, people have been aimlessly walking the streets, reporting losing time, collapsing without warning, loss of memory and agency, as it were.
Yes. And none of my people have been any good, quite honest, at finding out what's going on. We can't find any sort of pattern. Never seen anything like it before. I'm not used to this sort of, we don't have anything mysterious that happens here. Everything's sort of, we run a tight ship, as it were. It's usually just lost cats in the thing, Sort of gambling debts unpaid that we need to prevent someone from getting beaten up for.
Low crime rate, nice neighborhood.
But nothing, we don't have sort of magical things here. The Order sort of takes care of all of that, but they're not helpful here either. Shady fuckers, you'd think they'd be good for something, but apparently not.
So, if the Order is unhelpful, do you suspect that it's of mundane origin? Rather than magical? Or
Well,
have you any suspicions at all?
They assured me it was nothing to do with any of their licensed members, and they couldn't find any evidence of arcane wrongdoing.
I see.
I don't really, I guess that means that it's not magic. I don't really know. It's not really my area,
Could it be an inside job?
Inside
we didn't
what?
find evidence is could be something similar to saying we didn't look very hard.
Well, I've got my suspicions there for certain. They're a bit of they're secretive, They're They don't like talking too much to folk like me. Only reason I get any answers whatsoever out of the order is because I run this dang... Well, I don't run the city, but I run the guard. So, I've got some sway.
Right. So have these citizens who've lost time, they localize to a certain area, a neighborhood, time of day, a phase of the moon?
Well, I certainly haven't been looking up at the moons. It's the first incident. We've got probably the most information about that one was 9 days ago. Let me see here.
He starts leaping through some of the reports on his desk and pulls out one from the middle. After reading that, something written in the top corner.
Yes, a receptionist at an inn called the Enticing Prophecy collapsed without warning for under an hour is what I've got here. We're a little hazy on the specifics there. Seemed fine when they woke up, but someone did report seeing Helibonia out walking the streets during this time, which is clearly impossible. So that's sort of when we raised our internal alarms,
So it's reported they're in two places at once then?
That's what we've got, yes.
Interesting.
There have been a couple of others. Some people have been told they're in a place that they weren't. Other people have been witnessed to collapse. At this point, we're assuming that all of these incidents are linked, but have yet to find any sort of pattern.
Interesting.
And you said, what was this person's name again?
That'd be Helibonia.
Nice. I mean, interesting.
And the inn... Sorry.
The Enticing Prophecy. There's also this most recent report. That's what I just got done dealing with. There's a number of people spotted at the museum today, just sort of walking through tables. Clearly something's going on there. I'm not really sure what that's about. They didn't respond when people tried to talk to them, and then they would, one of them walked through a desk.
I see. Can I make a Arcana or Religion roll?
Sure.
That feels relevant here. Like people walking through desks and tables, like in corporeal form. It feels it has a tongue, a mouth feel similar to the bodies, the bone drinkers thing, just a little bit.
I'd say this definitely tastes of illusions to you.
Yeah.
It's
So
hard
when
to
we say-
illusions or just full on ghosts. It's hard to really discern which, just based on description.
So when we say they're walking through tables, you mean literally through them, incorporeal, that word.
As if it wasn't there at all, yep. One guy said he tried
And
to
this is the
stop
first
one
time
of
you're
them,
mentioning this?
and the
The person he tried to stop just kept moving through his arm.
So we go check that out, possibly.
Miss anything good?
Yeah. If this is going on right now.
Well, I just got these reports from one of my guards. So I'm not quite sure. Let me check. Looks like 2 hours ago. Not sure if it's still going on. With not really anything we can do about it since we can't seem to interact with these things in any way.
Well, I think that we're gleaning about all we can. Is it possible we have a copy of the reports?
I can get someone on copying these for you. Yeah, it will take a little bit of time.
Um,
I'm
Really, we
afraid I
just need
can't
the-
leave the originals. I can't let them
Of
leave this
course.
office.
really, we just need the pertinent information of the, I guess we'll call them victims for now. Locations and if there's anything that doesn't sort of fit the archetypical passed out, was seen elsewhere, seemed incorporeal.
Sure. Is the door still open, or did someone close it behind them?
I would think if it was, we would close it behind us. I would think.
Yeah, this feels
Okay.
like a doors closed kind of convo.
Then, from his desk, he'll say, "You mind cracking that door?"
Oh, of course. I'll walk over and crack the door slightly.
Erland! He just hollers out out the open door. And a few moments later, an elf man sort of pokes his head in. Yes, sir? I'm going to need you to copy down some of the pertinent details from these reports and get it to this lovely trio. Yes, right away. Yes, yes. He'll scurry in the room and grab the stack of papers and just go to a desk on the opposite end of the room and just start recording things onto another sheet of paper while you all stand there. So y'all new to the city? Ever been here before?
This is completely new to me.
Have I ever been here before?
I don't know, have you? You are older than this city.
I think I
But-
was. I think I was here at the old version. Was it still called Ullethtir?
No, this is a new name.
What was it called before?
It's a great question. Give me a moment.
Could be. What's that place in Florida?
That place in Florida.
Tallahassee.
No, it's like.
Orlando. Fort Lauderdale.
It was called Anstone before.
I was here when it was called Anstone, but that was many a year ago.
Right. I wasn't really of memory age when it was still called that.
What species is this dude?
He's a
an elf?
gray elf, yes.
Gray elf. You know how it is. Hard to read age.
There are some benefits to the bloodline. My mom's looked the same for 250 years.
Likewise.
I'm 22.
After a few more moments, whoever's closest gets handed a sheet of paper with a bunch of names and locations, as well as dates, just written out in a big list or like a bulleted list.
I was thinking of Niceville, Florida, by the way.
Niceville.
Yeah, it was originally known as Boggy, and they changed the name to Niceville because they didn't want to be known at a place called Boggy.
Right. That's fair, honestly.
Well, if you don't mind, I can see that my next meeting is waiting outside, so do you have any more questions, or...
I can just let you know.
No, I think it's a time to get knuckles to the grindstone.
Well, good luck.
Thank you.
And if you can, get it solved in, like, before week's end would be great.
We shall do our best, but I can make no such promise.
Of course, of course.
Goodbye. And I put on my pointy hat and walk out.
All right, now describe this hat.
There's no pointy hat.
Oh, okay.
I was thinking about like a sort of a royal, somewhere between royal and navy blue hat with goldish yellow stars and moons on it.
Nice. Very classic.
Yeah. I want what a 3-year-old would consider a wizard's hat on my character, you know?
So you have a list of names, locations, dates. The two you've heard about so far really are the first one, which is Halibonia all the way at the top, which was 9 days ago, and the most recent ones, which don't actually have names, but do just have like a list of rough descriptions of people. Like they were just getting sort of rushed and not taking as much care with trying to identify all these people because they've dealt with so many at this point. And so that was at the Royal Globe Museum just a few hours ago.
I would say we go to the museum. Seems to be the freshest clue.
I agree.
Same.
Okay, so you head towards. Luckily, the museum is not very far from here. Pretty easy to find just by asking around a little bit. And then, you turn one corner and then you just sort of see it in the distance and it's pretty clear that this is what it is. So it's a big building with like a huge round dome ceiling. Sort of lavishly decorated and still has lots of those sort of gleaming whites that are prevalent throughout this whole city. There's not really any foot traffic in or out right now, though.
Is there foot well,
And I should
I'm-
say, when I say museum, it's less of like a Smithsonian situation and more of like like an archaeologist gallery for the wealthy sort of thing. So like, it's not like a place where the everyman goes, or like, you know, schools don't take field trips here. It's a place where rich people come to talk and pretend they know things about things. And also where some actually educated people exchange ideas.
So are we free to enter, or is that a no?
Yeah, there's no one like guarding the entrance or anything, so you're able to walk in freely.
Doorman.
You are approached pretty soon after entering, though. So it's sort of a situation where someone looks over to see who came in and they don't recognize you, so they walk up and give you a sort of
Hi.
kind of.
How can I help you?
Hello.
So you're approached by a Samsarin man. Sort of blue skin, bald on top. Wearing fine but pretty simple clothes. Can I help you?
Greetings. We are. I'm Hyundai Elantra. We are from the Seekers of the Jade Oath. We are here on official business.
Right. Well, we're closed. There's all of our functions have been canceled, so due to
Excellent.
recent things.
The ghost people.
Sure.
That's what we're here to investigate.
Might I accompany you as you walk around? And you said official business. Do you have any sort of identification or evidence that you have this clearance? We don't let just anybody in here, you see.
Do we have that?
Well, you did just get something from the captain. You also might have a copy of, not the like thing you signed, but a copy of the thing that the captain sent to the Seekers with like your, basically like your mission statement on it. You might have that.
I think I would for sure have that. Do the papers that we got from Captain Zemnos, the like copies of the report details, do they have any like official sigil or anything? Letterhead?
Yeah, there's no like big stamp or anything on it, but at the bottom of every single page that you saw in his office, and it as well on this one that you have, there is like some print that just says like property of the Ullethtir City Guard type thing.
So I would show, I think I would show the copy of the ledger he sent to the Seekers, and just the sigil at the bottom of the other paper, and hide the top half of it.
Okay. Yeah, this guy will sort of squinting look at it and give you a sort of displeased look in his eyes that's sat right above a racked smile. Struggling to keep that smile on his face. Right, well,
I suppose you can just do whatever you want then.
Start knocking things down.
Quiet.
Just
Thank
please
you.
don't touch anything without asking first. There's some very old and very priceless items on display.
Of course, relics. I get it.
Yes.
Do you know? We heard reports of people literally walking through tables. Do you know where that happened by chance? If you,
I wasn't present at the time. I just started working today, or just started my shift today about an hour ago, so I came to find it all closed, but I still have to be here for people like you.
would there be anybody?
Sorry,
here who
guests like you.
Oh, yeah, understandable. Would there be anybody here that was here when that happened, by chance?
Sure, you can talk to the director. She's here.
If you wouldn't mind taking us to her, that'd be great.
Of course, follow me.
He'll quickly begin shuffling off, hands behind his back, towards the director's office.
Single file line, everybody.
I like
So
to think
you
they're like it's like Hyundai at the front, and then big Perses, and then kind of normal middle height Zahel.
So you have you leave this big like open entrance hall area, and go through a sort of tall but thin hallways, a little uncomfortably thin for you perhaps, Perses, but plenty of headroom, which is probably a nice change.
Improvement.
Past a sort of theater's not the right word. I guess auditorium where they they give talks and stuff. Yeah, maybe amphitheater. Yeah, so you go past that, it's completely empty, and there's someone like sweeping the stage or something. And make your way towards a sort of lavish office in the back with big windows looking out into the rest of the museum, and also on the other side, windows looking out the building, out the back of the building. Sat down at, actually no, standing, looking out the back window is a, I guess slightly above average height woman with short dark red hair, sort of lightly tanned skin.
Hello.
Human?
Seems so, yeah.
Cool. Does do we get a name for the person who greeted us?
You did not.
Great. Do they like say anything to the director, or do they just stand there like an asshole?
They will as you get up to this office, wait outside just for a moment, and they will slip in, close the door behind them, and walk up to the director and start talking to them. She will not turn around. While this conversation happens, you can sort of make out a nod coming from her, and he like gives like a half bow before he leaves, even though she can't see him because he's behind her. And then he leaves the room. The director will see you. And then he slips off to the side to let you in.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
As you enter, she remains looking out the back window. Find a seat.
Thank you.
There are 2 chairs in here, and one on the other side of her desk, which you could probably presume is for her and not for you. So at least one of you ain't sitting unless you're going to take hers.
I'm standing. I think the seat won't be made for me. I'm used
That
to
probably
standing.
makes the most sense.
I'm used to this. Don't worry.
Yeah, and indeed, the her chair specifically is it's very much not built for someone of your stature. She's pretty thin, and it has arms affixed to it that would be intrusive for someone of your size.
I do be weighing it more. How much do I actually weigh?
So, what is it you need?
We would like to investigate the areas where there have been the incorporeal forms of people and try to glean any information that you might have as director of the facility to help us investigate the root cause.
Oh, where are my manners? She spins around. Not spins. She turns around slowly like a normal person. And instantly makes eye contact. Her eyes are like piercing green. She's like uncomfortably attractive.
Noya Roussel.
Offers her hand out to shake. Whoever's sitting closest, probably.
Probably me. I've been leading this museum thing, so I'll stand up and Hyundai Elantra.
Charmed.
And then offer her hand to Percy's next.
Oh, nice
And
to
you?
meet you. Perseus. And then I offer my hoof first hand. What do you want to call it? I guess it wouldn't be a hoof, it'd just be a like a Minotaur hand.
And finally,
Zahel, and I'll let you reach out to shake her hand.
well,
Seekers, you say.
Yes.
And I'm told you're here on guard business? Seems an odd pairing.
Well, sometimes you need a more specialized skill set than the average city guard can afford to keep around.
I suppose that makes sense. They don't have much of a skill set. So you have questions about the incident we had this morning?
Yes, if you don't mind. Firstly, the reports we have are rather barren of detail. Could you just talk through what happened as best as you know it?
Well, a number of our, well, I wouldn't say. A number of beings appearing to be my employees were wandering sort of aimlessly through my museum and disturbing what few guests we had. One of them walked through a desk. Another nearly caused someone to knock over a priceless artifact in fright. They were not responding to any sort of really anything we did. No touch was met with resistance by them, and our words seemed to not reach their ears.
Mm-hmm. Could you take us to the area where this happened?
Of course, it was one of our gallery rooms. We had a small tour of a few of the local nobility coming through to look at something. Quite rudely interrupted. It's I think, pretty clear to all of you that she's pretty put off by this whole situation. Like, she was sort of embarrassed in front of some patrons, and is not happy about that, and is also not particularly happy about having to talk about it with other people either. But she will just walk out the door of the office.
Great. I'd like to follow detect magic eyes in eye socket. I was going to say in hand, but that would have been weirder.
That would be weird. I mean, as you walk around the Royal Globe, it's there's not really anything jumping out at you as being magical. It's mostly just old stuff. So it's things that are like recovered from cities that no longer exist, or weapons from old wars, but none of it stuff that very well could be magical. Similar to some of the magical things that you have found even recently, but none of them appear to be.
I'm more concerned with trying to get to the area and see if I can detect an aura of lingering magic.
Ah, okay. So she escorts you to a sort of side room that has just two things on display. It's like an old iron shield and a helmet.
Mm-hmm.
This is where they were? Well, this is where we were when they showed up. Who knows what else they might have done around the museum. And so this room is, you actually walked past it on your way to the office. It's situated just before the auditorium that you walked past.
Cool. Do I notice any remaining lingering aura? Which I can... Here's the spell link in the Roll20 chat if you want to be able to read what auras do.
Yeah. So, let's see. It would have to be strong for there to even be a chance of it still being here.
Mm-hmm.
And overwhelming, or strong or overwhelming, right? You do not see anything here.
If detect magic is cast and directed at such a location, the spelling is aura strength of dim. A magical or is source dispelled, dissipates, or destroyed. How long the aura uses a dim level on its original power? Oh, okay, I see. Yeah, great. But is there anything in here that seems there's nothing else is like showing as magical or anything?
Nope, not in here.
Okay. Remind me of her name.
Noya.
Noya. Pardon me, Director Noya. Were the visitors of the employees, do you know if they're people who regularly would work in this specific area of the museum?
One of them was a
One of them typically works the front area,
Mhm.
greeting new guests and directing them as needed. Another one works primarily with our speakers in the auditorium. They were set to work today, the latter that is, but our recent talks have been cancelled.
Right. And none of them were here at the time.
No, as I said, they were set to work but did not need to because our talks have been cancelled. Our guest disappeared.
Thank you. Could we get the names of the those two employees, perhaps? It might behoove us to talk to them to get to the bottom of this.
Certainly, I will have to check my records, but I will get that to you
Of course.
in a moment. Done in here?
Unless either of my colleagues have anything, I think we can soon be out of your hair.
What happened to the people that were walking through the tables? Did they just suddenly come back to their sentence all corporeal-like, or disappear, or...
One of them disappeared shortly after the disturbance. The other one wandered further into the museum, and I lost track of them. I didn't want to stray too far from my guests, as they were quite put off by the whole experience.
Understandably so. We could perhaps try to follow, but if they're able to walk through desks, they're surely able to walk through walls, so...
It's a good observation. I would think about. But I have no questions from my end.
Very well. I think then, Director Roussel, we can get the names of those employees and be out of your way.
Of course, follow me back to my office then. She'll take you back to the back to her office at the rear of the building, and we'll look down some sort of papers that are on her desk, or she'll pull them from a drawer, look through them, and put them back. The two were a Sam Noor and a Julia Amelina. Sam works the front hall. Julia works with our speakers.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for your cooperation and your insights. If you have anything you think that may be useful information to us, you can send it to, I suppose send it to Captain Zemno's Central Guard Station, care of Hyundai Elantra. Thank you so much. And I offer my hand out to shake hers.
She will shake it, giving you like as she shakes, giving you like a thorough looking over, almost like she's looking for something. And then we'll do the same to the other two. And when she looks over, Perses will go, "Where, might I ask, did you get that shawl? It's fascinating."
Oh, yes. One of our esteemed colleagues at the Seekers organization gave it to me as a gift through one of our campaigns. I'll just say campaign. But yeah. Yeah, it's able to, with the, to get outside and be able to tell time with it. It's,
I see. Fascinating. Had it
I can
long?
show her.
Have you had it long?
not very. Actually, no, I haven't been able to actually use it much yet. To be honest, can't wait to though. I'll be telling time all the time.
Well,
Hyundai Elantra badly stifles a laugh at that.
uh,
I'll be telling time all the time.
Her eyes will dart back as you give that little laugh, and then just go, if that's all, I have things that I need to do.
Yeah, so if you need to get in contact with me, just get in contact with him because I don't really talk to him.
And she'll
Thank you
turn
again.
and walk back. You're in her office right now, I guess. So she will just walk back to where she was standing before, looking out the window. Very busy. With her closed museum.
I slowly walk towards the door.
Hot girls gotta look out windows, man. It is what it is.
Cool guys don't look at explosions. Hot girls look out windows.
I guess that's the rule.
She wasn't doing it menacingly or anything, right?
I mean, how does one menacingly or non-menacingly look out a window?
It's just, I know it when I see it kind of thing, I guess. I don't know.
It's definitely a know it when you see it kind of thing.
I would say, actually, give me a sense motive. We got dice. Let's roll them.
Yeah. I'm going to click a button real quick. Come on. Lord. Yeah. I'm sensing it.
Oh my god.
What's my... One sec, I need to... This is a rolling in sense motive. No, there's an extra 2 there. 22.
Well, for Elantra and Perses, she seemed, like not super happy with the whole situation, but pretty genuine in your interactions, as far as you could tell.
I think
Zahel,
she's into me.
it seemed pretty clear to you that she was very dismissive of everything that you were trying to do, and just wanted to be done with the whole thing. She has very little confidence in your ability to come to any sort of resolution, and has even less confidence in the city guard to figure out what's going on.
Well, that's just rude.
I will say, Zahel, her interest in the shawl did seem a little odd. Like it didn't seem like she was interested in it from like it being a magical artifact or it being particularly attractive sort of sense. So there's a little hint that maybe she had some other interest in it, but it's sort of unclear what that might be.
Interesting.
Since it was 7, I just thought it was really pretty, I guess.
Distracted by her.
Yeah, what did you say at the beginning, Dolph? Alarmingly attractive or something?
Yeah.
Uncomfortably attractive?
Yeah, uncomfortably attractive.
I'm scared. She's so pretty.
She's got sort of like Ruby Rose features in my head. If you're familiar who that is.
She doesn't look like a Minotaur lady, so
No.
not for me.
So where do we want to go now? Do we want to? I think we hit it kind of a. Well, we did hit a dead end. We got some names.
I think it's probably best that we talk to them.
Yeah, do we I missed the part. Do we get information about where to find them, or we just have names?
That's also what I was wondering.
She just gave you names. You didn't ask where they lived or anything like that.
What about the Helibonia? Did we know where she lived?
You know where she
lived.
works.
Works, okay. This you go to the museum looking at everything with your special eyes. Sure, not anything magical.
Yep. Definitely not me just moving my mouse around and clicking randomly.
So at this point, you are essentially alone in this museum. I mean, you don't have like anyone with you. She's in her office, and the guy that led you here went presumably back to the front hall. So you're sort of in the middle of the museum, or sort of back middle sort of area.
And how far away was the place where they she brought us to kind of demonstrate where it all went down or whatever? What happened?
That was on the way.
Yeah, I mean it's not too far, and then, yeah, it's on the way back to the front entrance. It is.
Okay.
This place isn't actually that big. Like, it doesn't fit that much stuff. It's a lot of it is just wasted ceiling space, I guess, in an attempt to look grand. It's like this huge dome. They don't have like an extra floor where they put stuff. It's just a big dome, you know? They wanted to be called the Royal Globe Museum, so they made a globe, you know?
So wait, if it's a globe, is the floor rounded as well?
No, it's not. It's a half globe.
Thanks for
It's a
listening.
lie, is what it is.
Well, passing through the room again, we'll just take a perception check to see if just anything catches Zahel's eye, anything on the ground in particular. I guess it would be more looking toward the ground for any sort of markings or anything like that.
Yeah, I
Other
guess
than just
I'd be looking too on the way out, but yeah, I wouldn't. Unless we can go where it happened or something like that on the way out or something.
oh, okay, that's not gonna notice anything. This is as low as I can go.
Ouch.
I guess it can't
Yeah.
hurt for me to roll as well.
So we're taking a look around the room that she showed you initially. Yeah, Zahel and Elantra, you're not really going to notice anything, but Perses, I think you start sort of connecting some dots with the story that she told you, and like the footprint patterns on the floor. You know, like there's it's not like dirty in here by any means, but there is like maybe this room is next up for a good sweeping. You know, so there's a little bit of dust. So there's this sort of front area, the front half of the room, which includes the two podiums that these like old artifacts are sat on. Though that area just past those podiums is pretty well walked through, and then there's like a yeah, I guess it's like a desk. It's not like a office desk, but it's somewhere between a desk and a podium that someone would speak at, like just enough space for someone to like hold notes or something. If they were going to give a talk to a very small room full of people, to like 15 people or something like that. Presumably that's the desk where the person walked through. There are no footprints over there. So if someone walked through that desk, they didn't leave any footprints behind in the dust.
She said they resisted touch.
She said they didn't resist touch.
Didn't resist touch. Okay.
And what you heard from the captain was that someone had tried to stop one of them, and the person like moved through their arm.
Cool.
I relayed all this information, by the way.
So
they wouldn't leave any tracks behind, is pretty much what that's insinuating.
Yeah.
My suspicion is that these are illusory copies of people, but why the actual people themselves are left unconscious is the concerning matter. Because I could create an illusion of a person, and it would do nothing to the actual person.
But why the illusions in the first place?
I think that, and this is just my own hunch, but I think that knowing the nature of these illusions might give us some insight into the reason for them. I think it's best that we try to talk to one Helibonia.
Agreed. We need more we need more info.
Definitely.
I think a first-hand account would be the most useful thing for us at this point.
Okay. Gonna make your way to Helibonia's place of employment.
Yes, I believe so. The enticing prophecy.
Yes. All right. So, you leave the museum. You don't get so much as a wave goodbye from the the man that greeted you. He just watches you walk out. But as you leave, I guess you make your way through the city, and this one is a little less obvious to find. So I guess we need like diplomacy checks or something from people to like gather information for where this place is, because they don't do street names here. That would make too much sense.
You need what rolls? I'm sorry.
Diplomacy, probably. For gathering information.
People run away from me.
Diplomacy.
You're just a little bit too dirty and of the land for the people around here.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Yeah, I got lucky in the dice roll because I got a 0 in that, so I'm assuming diplomacy can be untrained.
Yes.
You don't need to study the art of asking questions to ask for directions.
No. Fortunately, you don't. Although Perses and Elantra make it look like a fine art that they are not proficient in. So I'm picturing the three of you just like fan out a little bit, approaching various people. Perses, you get a lot of like dismissive stuff. People not wanting to spend too much time around you. Definitely unfamiliar with your kind and maybe a little uncomfortable by your presence. Elantra, I think you just strike out.
I think I get too wrapped up in like some other inconsequential detail, and they are like giving me wrong directions because of it.
Oh, you go on a tangent or something,
Yeah.
talking about something completely unrelated to someone. You just like pick up on
Like, it's
some
not-
little nitpick thing that's really interesting for some reason, and
It's not that I'm bad at conversation, it's that I'm having an entirely wrong
you're having the
one.
wrong conversation. And Zal, you walk up to someone and pretty straightforward, to the point, get your info. You've got your directions. It was easy. So it is. You even get a little bit of information about what the place is. The Enticing Prophecy is like a long-term inn for people who are in the city for like periods of weeks versus just like a couple days. So they provide, sort of more extensive lodgings and services, and they have it's a reasonably sizable place. They have sort of a broad assortment of expense levels, I'll say, in what they offer.
Okay.
It is like a 20-minute walk there.
Let's
So
get walking.
yeah, so you find yourself going sort of west through the city. So the where you came in at the Celestial Finance was pretty far north, near the North Gate. The Royal Globe, and this is a time where I wish I had made a map for the city, but I didn't. The Royal Globe is pretty near the center, which is also where the Central Post is, and the which is where you met Nil. And so now you're headed sort of west, not quite all the way to the wall, but sort of west southwest, sort of. So it's a little bit of a walk.
Okay.
As you approach, it's a very weirdly shaped building. It's not round or square. It's just sort of like a nebulous sort of blob thing. It's a multi-story structure, but it's not. The different floors are not all the same shape. So they really go hard on the fact that their chosen building materials make it easier to make curved things than straight things. So there's lots of weird blobby shapes, and like an overhang that goes over some trees and is supported by like a weird round column off to the right of the structure, and like a 6 foot across entrance that sort of juts out like 5 feet. So there's just like this little hallway as soon as you open the front door, and that opens into the main lobby.
It's like an airlock.
Yeah, it kind of looks like that. Like it's like a closet that you first walk into, but there's no door on the other side. So you enter, and there is a fire crackling on one side of the wall. It's a little like homier in here than it is in most of the other places that you've been so far. It's a little less bright and hospitally. They've got more wood around. It's still pretty like light brown wood, but it's a little nicer, or at least a little bit more comfortable. And there's a clerk's desk sort of thing at the front, at which there is a Gath Lane man, just fully standing on the desk. He's like 2'2".
Oh, a what?
Gath Lane.
Can we get a description of them, please?
You absolutely can. So Gath-Lanes in general are, small fey creatures with wings. He specifically has like oaky skin, rich red hair, and red wings, like pointed ears with really big, large, dark brown eyes. Wearing like a matching vest and pants made of bright green leaves that are like rolled up and used as like a yarn to like weave this thing.
Okay.
And so their wings, this species, they're like they look like they grow out of them. You know, they're like wood and flowery textures, but they're very much part of the person. And they are very, very small. Hello. Can I help
Hi
you?
there. Do you know if or when Helibonia will be around?
I do. Oh, you wanted... Oh, he's me.
Excellent. Could we... Where are my manners? My name is Hyundai Elantra. Pleasure to meet you.
Greetings.
Do you mind if we ask you a few questions?
Sure.
Wonderful. We're with the Seekers of the Jade Oath.
The what with the who now?
I don't know how to explain what we do.
That's
Let's
all
take
right.
this one.
Moving on. What do you need? What can I help you with?
How are you
we were
doing?
told- I've been better, but that's not relevant.
Would
we
you
told-
like a cookie?
No, thank you.
Yes.
He'll flit off the desk and disappear behind it for a moment and come out with a small tray. It's got like 4 cookies on it that are like brightly covered in like bright sprinkles.
Thank you. I'm hungry.
And you?
Pointing to Percy's.
Cookie?
Sure, I'll take a cookie.
Are you all with that sinkers of the Jade? Who's it now?
Yes, we're at the Who's It What's It's. Yes.
Great. Okay.
He'll flit back down, put the tray away, and then come up and sit on the desk.
So, a little over a week ago, you lost consciousness, or so we're told, and were supposedly spotted elsewhere in town. Is this correct?
Ah, yes.
Wonderful. This is perhaps a stupid question, if such a thing exists, but what can you tell us about the experience? Feels insensitive, but that's the word that comes to mind.
Well, I was here working. I was I don't really remember anything in particular because as far as I recall, I just sort of was asleep. But I didn't dream. But my friend Jawar, he said that he tried to talk to me at the bar down the street, where we sometimes get drinks, and I wasn't much of a talker, which was unusual because I'm usually kind of a talker. So he was a little worried, and then I just sort of flew away in the middle of the conversation, which he thought was kind of mean.
We had a little bit of a fight about that, and then I sort of put two and two together that I was not actually there. It wasn't actually me. It wasn't me. I would never do that to Jawar. That would be rude. So, of course, that's how we sort of worked out that he didn't see me, but I don't know who he actually saw. And also, I really hope that no one tried to come in here and book anything while I was asleep. I would get in a lot of trouble if we lost business while I was asleep on the job, and my boss really wouldn't be happy with that. He does know that I went asleep, but we don't know if anyone tried to come in here. So if you find out that anyone tried to come in here and they couldn't because I was asleep at the desk, then I don't want to know, and I don't want my boss to know. So don't tell him. Don't tell anyone. Leave that. Keep that to yourself. What were we? What were we talking about?
Someone must have come in because they knew you were unconscious.
That makes sense. Yes. Oh boy. Oh, I hope it was. I don't know who told. I mean, obviously, I know I felt unconscious, and I did tell the guard that, but I wasn't the one who initially reported it. Someone else did. The guard just showed up and started asking me questions. So, I really hope it was one of the existing guests that already has a room. Or oh boy. Oh boy.
Dolph, you've created a wonderful and horrifying. Fuck.
Yeah. How many guests were staying here at the time?
Well, it's one fewer than are staying here right now, so 13.
Okay. I don't know what I was going to say, truly.
But you said it's one fewer than. But when did that person leave?
Let's see. That person left. It was a lovely woman. She was in one of our. He'll like put his hand to the side of his mouth as if he's trying to guard this secret from someone, but there's no one else in here. One of the cheaper rooms. She left 4 days ago, but that was the end of her stay. It wasn't anything unusual. It was just how long she booked for. It's honestly been a little quiet. Maybe not unusually quiet. I guess we had a big influx of people 2 weeks ago. Sort of a lot of folk coming in for the talks, but I've heard those got canceled, which is really unfortunate. There were a couple of them, and then the rest of them got canceled. That happened. Yeah, a little less than 2 weeks ago was when the last one was, and then the rest of them got canceled. But
what talks?
no. Oh, at the museum, there's someone coming to talk to people at the museum. It was going to be like a big series. I think they only did like 3 of them, and then the rest of them got canceled.
Do you know what the nature of the talks were?
Nope. That stuff's a little bit over my head. I'm a little bit more of a people person, not really like a books person or like a history person or like a thinking person. More of a talking to other people person. You know what I mean? What kind of person are you? Are you a thinking person? Are you a books person?
Yes.
What's that like? How are books? I can read, but not super well. It's kind of just, I mostly just do names and numbers. I don't really do like big sentences, you know? They're too boring. I lose interest like halfway through, and then I can't be bothered to finish the rest of the sentence. And then there's so many more sentences.
Yes, well, you Usually, you complete a thought.
Okay, but like, why?
I think Elantra just stops.
Was there anything else unusual about your guests, or anything unusual about any of the guests you've had during these past couple weeks?
Anything unusual? We had.
Did you just clap in real life?
No, I didn't actually. We
I think you heard my water bottle.
Oh, okay.
We had one person who wanted to visit one of our guests. That's a little weird. It doesn't happen super often. Usually people don't have visitors to their rooms at temporary lodgings like this because, not at the longer ones. They do at some of the shorter term ones. Sex workers. But you didn't hear it from me. We did have one visitor to one of our rooms, actually on the day that I collapsed.
That's could be pertinent.
Whose room was this visitor visiting?
He was visiting. Actually, this. All right, I shouldn't say too much, but this, because we're not supposed to reveal too many details about who's staying here, because it's like a privacy thing, I guess, or something. But this person is just so cool. They're like made of like crystals and stuff. They're like pink. And he's been here for like 2 weeks.
And you said this is the person who had the visitor at the time you collapsed.
Yeah, he had the visitor. The person walked up and said, "Where's this guy staying? What room is he in?" And I said, "Oh, I don't know if I could tell you that. I'm not supposed to tell you that." And he assured me that they were friends, and then he expected a visitor. And then I remembered, oh yeah, he did say that he was expecting a visitor when he came back to go back to his room that day. So I said, oh yeah, he did say that he was expecting a visitor when he went back to his room earlier today. So you must be that visitor. So yeah, you can go up. He's on the 3rd floor, and he's in room G. Oh, I shouldn't have told you which room he was in. Okay. Don't tell my boss that I told you that.
Our
didn't hear
lips
anything.
are sealed.
What was that, Sock?
I said our lips are sealed.
Oh, do you need help getting them unsealed?
It's a book people phrase.
Ah, gotcha.
I think Elantra looks older. I'm like real life tired after talking.
Is that room available for rent, by the way?
No, he's still there.
Oh, interesting.
Oh.
He's got it for, let me see, 7 more days.
Okay.
It's one of our longer stays. We are a long stay in, but it's a little longer than we usually have, you know? Usually it's like 2 weeks. This is like 3. This is like 3.5 weeks.
And is there anything else you can tell us about this tenant other than he's crystally and had a visitor?
Probably.
Well,
What?
could you maybe tell us?
Tell you what.
Oh.
Would you like a cookie?
Yes.
He flits under the desk and comes back with a different plate of cookies. These are like They're like oatmeal raisin, but they're not raisins. They're like greener. It's some sort of dried fruit.
How often do you see this guest come and go?
Which one?
The person in room G.
He flies the tray of cookies around to each of you, offering them while he's talking. Oh, I haven't seen him in a while, actually. But he used to come out every day. He wasn't a big talker, but he would say the usual, like, hello, I'm goodbye, I'm leaving, I'm here, I'm gonna have a visitor today, please let them in, stuff like that.
But he is here now.
Well, yeah, I saw him go into his room was it like 9 days ago maybe, and I haven't seen him come out since. So I mean, he might have come out when someone else was working. I don't work here all the time. I'm not, I gotta sleep sometimes, but I've not seen him leave, and he used to leave while I was on duty. So, and I work most days. I work 4 days a week. So I guess it's a little weird. He might still be in there. Do you think he's been in there for 9 days? It's kind of a long time to be in one room, right? We don't have that much food in there. Do crystal people eat food?
We can double check with them for you.
Yeah, we should probably check on him. I mean,
we should probably check for him. We'll do a well-being check for just to benefit. There's something that could be going on. There might be a person in there that might need attention.
Oh no, I didn't let someone like die in the room. What if he got locked in and he starved to death? I haven't been up to the 3rd floor in so long to check, and I know I'm supposed to do.
There would have been a lot more noise if you killed them. You would have known if you would have killed them.
Oh.
Wait, what?
If you had locked someone to their death, I think they would have made more noise. Don't worry. But we can do a well-being check, though. But we can do that for you.
Would you? I don't. Oh God, if he's dead, I kind of want to see what a dead crystal person looks like, but I also don't. I'm kind of squeamish. I don't really do well with blood.
Well,
do they have blood? Do they bleed? Do crystal people bleed? What do they look like when they're dead?
Look,
do I know if crystals bleed?
You can give me a knowledge nature or something. It'll be pretty easy. No, they don't bleed.
Well, I can tell you they don't bleed.
They also can't eat or drink. They don't have mouths, actually.
Just a idle bit of trivia. Did you notice if this person had a mouth?
Oh my God, how was he talking to me?
Right, let's go do that check.
While he was sort of panicking, he like flitted under a desk and grabbed like a fucking cartoon ring of keys, and handed it to you. So now, one of you has this ring of keys, and he's just sort of like thinking about how he was being talked to by this guest.
We'll have plenty of questions answered, hopefully, by the end of this.
This NPC is a joy, Dalf.
I'm glad.
I mean, I hate them, but they're a joy.
So he's just sort of like, at this point, mumbling to himself and like shoving a cookie in his mouth. The cookie that is like as big as his face, basically. So he's talking in between bites of cookie. Just like, if he doesn't have a mouth, how is he talking to me? But I definitely heard him. But how does he make noise with no mouth? Is he real? Maybe he's not even real, and this is all part of a dream, and stuff like that. So you have keys? He's on the 3rd floor in room G.
I'm down to unless someone else has another plan. Let's make way and see what's behind that door.
So we just got.
Well,
the,
we'll knock.
just
We'll
got the
knock
keys-
first.
So we just got the keys to the whole place.
Yeah, so looking over this ring of keys, there's not enough for it to be for the whole place.
Okay.
And there's like a little tag on it that says 3. So it's probably just for the 3rd floor.
I wonder which 3 specific rooms this is for.
So you
Go to the floor and-
I guess you make
guess
your
we
way
should
to
knock
the
first.
to the like down the hallway past the desk where you talk to Helibonia, and find a spiral staircase that goes up in like it's like in a turret, separate from the rest of the building. It looks like it's sort of awkwardly blobbed onto the building. Like, oh yeah, we need stairs. Bloop. And so you make your way up to the 3rd floor, and there are 3 rooms up here. You have a ring, a big, like, copper ring with 3 keys on it.
All right, I say we knock first.
I agree.
The rooms are labeled F, G, and H.
Room G. So we're told.
So you come to room G and knock on the door, presumably.
Who's knocking specifically?
There is no response.
All right, I knocked to the point where it's a little louder, and then by that time, just enough time to like reasonably make it so that we can come in, just so that we make sure nobody else is on the other side. If we don't see like a naked crystal man coming out of the shower, or lady, or person, whatever. But yeah, so yeah, I guess we unlock it then and investigate.
Okay. Yeah. The keys aren't labeled, but it doesn't take long to find the right one. There's only 3 of them after all. So you do. And what you come to is as you open the door, is a modest sort of mid-level room here. But your eye is immediately drawn to a stone orb and an amber-colored metal-bound lens that is floating in the air above a small box that is near the center of the room. Just on the other side of this floating lens and orb is a pink crystalline form wearing a white and green robe, sat cross-legged on a red rug. Their head is covered with a leather cowl, and they remain entirely unmoving, seemingly not responding to your knocks or you opening the door at all. Just then a light flashes from the orb, not super bright, but it sends a sort of cone of light through the lens. And you can't quite make it out, but there's, it's in some sort of shape as it passes through this lens. Leaning against the wall, there's a wooden staff with a sort of glassy orb embedded on top, and there's a small collection of books sat in an open bag nearby on the floor. On the other side of the room, there's a small wooden desk and a chair against, which is opposite a simple bed, and there's an icebox in as close to a corner as you get in these sorts of rooms, and a small chest next to it.
How much is everything glowing?
There is I guess there would be a little glow from the orb that is atop the wooden staff that was leaning against the wall. But for you, it is dominated by this orb and this lens that are floating above this little box. All 3 of those things, very bright.
Okay.
Actually, also the hood. 4 things. It's a busy room.
The man. being an arcane practitioner myself, is there anything I can glean by the robes or the instruments or anything to tell what sort of magic is going on? Or do I get the school?
Yeah, give me a knowledge arcana.
Go over to this character sheet. Arcana. That's pretty low.
Okay, with an 18, you're actually not going to be able to discern the school of any of this stuff.
Oh shit.
I think you can tell that. Let's see. They are all different. As in, they're all different
Okay.
schools. And the box is the stronger of the three.
Box is stronger than 3. So it's
Or, I'm sorry, of the 4.
of the 4. So it's the orb on top of the staff.
Sorry.
Orb
The orb on top of the staff would be the 5th. That is the weakest by far.
Weakest by far. And then there is the
So there's the box on the floor. That is the strongest. There is a floating in the air above it. There is a like stone orb, and there is an amber glass lens with like a metal frame, like a round lens, like a metal frame that's floating with the orb.
Okay.
And it's aimed at the orb, like almost like you were to look through it.
Yeah.
Is the lens facing towards the crystal person?
It's sort of rotating around, with not much regularity. You know, it like wobbles up and down a little bit while it goes as well, but it's going pretty slowly rotating around. Zahel and Perses, I don't think Elantra would really be familiar, but Zahel and Perses, you have seen a stone like this before. Zahel, you have seen 2.
Oh. Uh-oh.
Wait.
These orbs never lead to good things.
Yeah, so one of them you saw in Baden Skycorn's underground laboratory. It was on his desk thing. The other Zahel saw in his very first mission, or the very first one we did, which was sort of similarly to this, floating in the air with the vine wrap that's on your arm wrapped about it.
So upon seeing this, Zahel is going to be on high alert and even draw his weapon. Not that it's ever needs to be drawn, but have it at a ready stance.
Yeah.
And we'll briefly explain what the heck that is in the previous events. If they, assuming we probably have already discussed past adventures, but would remind.
Elantra, you it's certainly possible you have seen these around. There's the 2 that have been encountered thus far are in Kedwell somewhere, in their storage somewhere, and people might have talked about it and stuff, but this would be your first time seeing one in action for sure.
And can you remind me what the context what we found the orbs in was?
So the first one was found in the
growing problem.
Yes, in the center. Yeah, you were there, but Elantra wasn't there, so you remember that one. So the vine wrap was around it, and they were floating. The second one was in the laboratory of Baden Skycorn. He was like examining it before he died, or like as he died, I guess.
And it like kept his consciousness alive or something like that.
Yeah,
Something like that.
they have a tendency to sort of throw energy out in all directions if they're not directed in a specific way.
This might be stupid. Can I pull out the monocle?
You can.
And I start with the box, since that's the strongest, and work my way down in terms of power.
Okay.
Also, does it seem like this guy is actively casting a spell right now, like in the midst of a ritual?
Give me a spellcraft check. So he seems to be in sort of like a meditative trance.
He's pondering his orb.
I promise I did not.
Do you know how long I was waiting to
Oh
make
my
that
God.
joke?
Holy shit.
Like, we walked in this room and I was like, oh, he's pondering his orb.
How old is that meme? Did I start drafting this adventure before that meme? I really hope I did. It was unintentional. But yes, so this you can sort of with the 22, I think you can recognize this hood as being like a sensory deprivation thing, which for some people is used to aid in meditation.
Okay.
You also know from your check earlier, the knowledge nature 15, that Krizits are latently psychic. That's how they talk to people. So
Right.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now.
It's pondering.
oh, you looking at the pondering the orb meme? Have you not seen it before?
I've not seen it.
Wow.
We
That's
post on the
actually-
server all the time.
That's Saruman from some old book art, I guess.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
So he's pondering a Palantir stone.
We're the real orb pondering fanatics here
Yeah.
in Dalf's.
Are you
Daddies.
even a real orb ponderer if you don't know the deep history behind the specific orb he was pondering? I have been tabbed out of the Roll20 tab on my main window, and when you're tabbed out, it doesn't follow these paths. So every time I tab back in, it goes like it's still working on it. There we go. It just finished. It just finished.
I went for a while there.
Goodness. Okay, so you did you pointed the monocle at the box. So what you get is that a puzzle box. And that's all you get about that.
Does that ring any bells for me?
You, I'm sure, would have heard of puzzle boxes before. They come in many different shapes and sizes and stuff. You can sort of, if you've seen Hellraiser, you can sort of picture the box in that, although with a little bit less sexual energy. You could also sort of picture, like a magic Rubik's Cube, I guess.
Okay. Great.
But yeah, so they're sort of very complicated little objects that need to be solved before they can be opened.
I'm thinking of the Happy Fun Ball from Critical Role Campaign 2. If that
Okay.
reference is lost on people, then carry
Mhm.
on.
Welby will enjoy that reference in the VOD, I assume.
Yeah.
It's lost on me. I apologize.
It's a lot. They're 5-hour episodes. It's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so then the orb, I think we've. Do I know enough about the orb to just be able to skip on the monocle with it, or do I think do I sock think it would be useful to?
Well, would Elantra have, read up whatever the Seekers know about these things?
I
Which is
think
not a
they have
ton, but-
enough. They have enough interest in Is it the thought core in the artifacts page?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think they've read that.
Okay, so you have a basic rundown of what we know so far, essentially, which is not a ton, but there are. It would take a little bit more close inspection, but there are arcane runes on the two that you found before. It's a little hard to tell with the lens and it like floating around in the air and stuff, turning around. But there's a good chance that there are on this one too, and they have varied from core to core. So they're sort of customizable in that way, I guess, in terms of what runes you put on them. They do slightly different things. But okay, the next up, I guess, is the lens. Clear those. Oh,
Also, rest of the party, we're cool with info gathering until something happens.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
great. I don't want to just like monopolize this with like wizard needs to know things.
This is like no, please.
I mean, the alternative is I hit the crystal guy with a stick. So,
Me as a druid, I really don't have a skill set for this either. So this is I'm glad you're here doing this.
maybe I'll poke him first. Then
Imagine if this was like one of the early game parties where we were all martial.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean
So what
that
do we hit?
that first session, you rolled up on this orb with a magic item surrounding it, and no one has any fucking idea what's going on. I'm like, can anyone roll history or arcana? Nope, no one can roll any of those things. I'm like, well, you got no idea then.
we're all just like, get these fucking vines off me, man. I'm tired of being entangled.
So you're like, let's hit it, I
can-
guess.
Roll history. I have a history of rolling a lot.
Okay, so as you bring the monocle up over the lens, you actually get a little bit of a story.
Story time.
This looks like the lens from the telescope of Hinrith Tower on Octon, which is held in a gallery on, a prominent gallery on near that tower, which is now destroyed. Clearly, it's not in that gallery. It's fucking here. But it's supposed to be in a gallery.
Do I know anything about that gallery?
I guess that's a knowledge local?
Local or history? I don't know.
Yeah, I guess history could work too.
They're both
you-
+9.
You could also give me a nobility because he threw a name at you. Okay, you don't know anything about it.
Cool.
It's a little hard because it's on a different continent.
Yeah, what I was like reaching for with these rolls is like, is there a similar artifact at the museum here? Is that why this is happening? still out of character,
Ah.
what I suspect.
Okay, now we have the hood. Monocle's rolling real well. A sensory deprivation hood designed to amplify psychic abilities for the purposes of performing various rituals or interfacing with latent consciouses. Did I say that right? Consciouses?
Consciousnesses?
Consciousnesses. That's what I
Consciousnesses?
wanted. There we go.
Okay.
Nailed it. There you go.
So wait, is this hood on the crystal dude?
Yes, he is wearing it. And when for a little bit more clarity on the hood, it's not just like a fucking leather bag on his head. It's more sophisticated than that. It's heavy leather to cover to cover his head, but there's also like big goggle things that go over the eyes. There's like ear muffs to cover the ears. It's to fully shut them out from the world, basically.
It's like a sense deprivation hood.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, well, that would explain why I didn't hear us.
Do you want to poke him, Zahel?
I will let Elantra finish scouting out the room.
Okay.
But yes, he's gonna get poked.
Do I get a sense that the amplification of his psychic abilities could mean he's doing something similar to detect thoughts on us in this room right now?
Yeah, I'll use your spellcraft from before for this. It's theoretically possible. But in order, so yeah, I guess the options are he's in some sort of meditative trance and has no idea what's going on in the room right now. 2, he's dead. 3, he is actively monitoring the room through some psychic or otherwise abilities, and knows exactly what's going on for some unknown reason. He is still just sat here, though.
Okay.
And I assume Zahel is pretty, like, since you said you like readied yourself early, you're pretty like eagle-eyed. You're not. If he were moving, you would know, and he has not moved.
Yes, I am on high alert. I don't trust these damn orbs one bit.
I'm ready to fight, but that was just because it's magical.
I will also say his head is, because this is maybe important to you, his head is slightly down, as if he were looking at the floor. I mean, he's not looking at anything because he has a sensory deprivation hood on, but
We're looking at the floor. Okay. What spells do I have right now? What do I have? Featherfall can't help us. I have so many magic missiles prepared today. Why did I do that? Haste, perfect placement, and embrace destiny. Scrolls? Rope trick, summon monster, burning hands, hypnotic pattern. Okay. I need to be physically touching a magic item to determine what it does, right? For like the spellcraft roll for that?
That's a very important question. You must be able to thoroughly examine the object. So I would say, yeah, that involves being able to, like, at minimum, engage with it with, like, most of your senses. So touch would be involved, I would say.
Do I see any glyphs or wards in this room with detect magic?
No.
Okay. I want to try to see what's up with the staff, unless the monocle knows.
If you point the monocle at the staff.
Here, I need to step away for 1 second to use the restroom.
Okay.
I'm gonna keep doing this. You won't miss much. Maybe.
As you point the monocle at the staff, what you hear is a simple wooden staff with a thaumaturgy orb set atop it.
Thaumaturgy orb. Okay. I'm gonna assume that a thaumaturgy orb does the effects of thaumaturgy.
No.
Okay.
So a thaumaturgy orb, also known as a caster's orb, a theurgist's orb, or wizard's orb, is a weapon made by a spellcaster in order to harness excess magical energy into a concussive blast that can be directed at foes. Typically held in hand or mounted atop a staff, the caster uses their free hand to draw energy from the orb to launch as a projectile. It's a magic wizard weapon.
Great. And remind me the layout of the room.
Sure.
It's like
so he is sat pretty near the center of the room on a red rug with the box on the floor in front of him. The orb and lens are floating directly above the box, in front of that. To your left, his right, because he is facing you. I don't know if I said that before, but he's facing you. Your left, his right, leaning against the wall, is the staff and this like bag of books that he has. Behind that is the bed. To the right, there is the desk, a small wooden desk with a little chair. And then closer to the front of the room where you're walking in is an ice box and a small chest, like for locking up your personal effects.
Did we get any useful information on the staff?
it's a thaumaturgy staff, a wizard's weapon.
Okay.
All right, I've drawn a horrible pink rendition of the room. The balloon is the staff. The weird square is the books. You can see the rug. You can't really tell what the orb and the box are, but they're there. The desk is like a staple, and the chair kind of fucked. The bed, all right. The ice box, I wrote ice on. And then I wrote us, where I think we are.
Okay, that's very beautiful.
It's like I'm there.
Okay, the bed would be like directly behind him, but otherwise pretty close.
Great.
It's good enough.
I think I'm gonna. Do I just steal this dude's staff?
I wouldn't be
You
opposed.
just let me know when you do whatever you want to do while he's.
Does
out
a
of it.
weapon like this typically require attunement?
So they
Or is that a
they
thing
re-
I would know?
they require attunement during the time of creation, basically. So they're like locked to the person that made them.
see.
Each caster sort of has to make their own, or has to be at least involved in the process to some extent, because it's sort of built out of your own energy, your
I
own
see.
magical shit. So you could take it, but you probably wouldn't be able to use it.
I wouldn't be able to use it, but it would prevent him from using it.
Sure.
Zahel, you see the staff?
Mm-hmm.
It is a weapon that is intrinsically tied to likely the person in front of us. I'm loath to disturb the room for fear of igniting something unpleasant, but I think that should we need to keep that out of their hands. Furthermore, I cannot tell the nature of the ritual, other than that I'm assuming this person is mentally elsewhere, otherwise they'd have likely known of our presence in some regard, unless they do know of it and choose not to act on it. Can I do a little retcon?
Okay, I'm listening.
Can I have said all that using the message cantrip?
Let's check the limits on message.
I can.
Okay, so there are no length limits. Then yes.
Great. And actually, in this system, you can target multiple. No, yeah, you can target multiple creatures. So I would like
Yep.
to.
You can
both
message
Perses
to up
and
to 5
Zahel.
creatures right now.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm not going to.
Okay, in that case, Zahel will nod in response.
Does this system let you respond in kind?
No.
Okay. That's sending.
Yes, and sending does have a length limit.
Yes. As
You can, I mean, message is effectively a magic whisper. It's an extremely good whisper. So I mean, they could whisper back, but they're not going to be, you know, it's not going to be magically reinforced to prevent overhearing.
Yes. So I relay that. I can't tell the nature of the ritual here, but I think the suspicion of this person having arrived 9 days ago, or the visitor rather having arrived 9 days ago, presumably bringing something for this ritual, and then the beginning of these lost times is significant. Should we confront this person?
Zahel will shake his head, yes.
Perses?
I'll nod.
Can one of you place yourselves between him and the staff?
Yes, I will Zahel nod, and I guess I will try to sneak my way over there.
Give me an acrobatics check. You have to sort of like squeeze a little bit to get there if you want to do so without touching anything.
Okay. Rather than a stealth check?
Well, I guess, what do you favor more? Do you favor silence?
Acrobatics.
Or... No, I mean, what do you...
Oh, okay.
Are you working more towards being quiet or not touching anything?
I guess not touching anything, because he obviously, I mean, if he could hear, he would have heard us already when we knocked. So yeah, let's go with not touching anything. So I guess you said acrobatics.
Acrobatics then, yeah.
Okay.
Leonard is here to help. Just helping DM right now.
It
Yeah,
was
you
an
don't
18
touch
on the
a
dice.
dang darn thing you don't want to in this room.
And before, give me 1 second. I'm trying to. So, I motion toward the vine wrap on my arm and point at the crystal person, suggesting I use it toward the Elantra and Perses. With a questioning look.
Wait, one more time. I'm sorry. Was that towards? Was I supposed to say something like that?
I mean, we're obviously gesturing silently at the moment.
Yeah.
Elantra's the only one that can really communicate mentally right now. But with me in position between him and the aura, I'm pointing toward the vine wrap on my arm, suggesting potentially using it on our crystal friend and trying to get your all's opinion on it.
Are we message cantrip to both of them? Do we want to start this with aggression, or do we want to see if it can be peacefully resolved? Nod for peaceful. Shake your head no. If we would like to restrain this person and begin with a bit more forceful of an entrance.
Zahel will shake his head.
Yes or no?
No. Not nod, shake.
Oh, like violence. Okay. I shrug and do the same thing, I guess.
Very well.
Well, actually, before going through this, let me just confirm with the vine wrap, because actually I'm actually reading the abilities now, and I'm not quite sure. Well, basically, I was envisioning just trying to subdue him or wrap him. Would prehensile reach be possible for that, Delph? Would that be a reasonable use for that?
Yeah, I would say because he's not, he's stationary, having the vine sort of like just try and like bind his arms and legs or something like that would be totally viable.
Yeah, I'm figuring just like basically wrap it around his torso with hopefully binding his arms down.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'll do that. And I mean, if I have any sort of direction with this, or any sort of control over this, the grasping vine or this vine, it would be doing this slowly and as subtly as possible.
Yeah, you have a fair amount of control over the vine, and I would say, as you go to use it, it feels more responsive to you than normal.
Okay.
As if it's used to you. So as you send the vine out, it leaps off your arm towards this crystalline man, and that's where we're going to stop.
Nice.
You'll find out what happens with him and this attempt next week.
Perfect ending.
I wonder if my drawing will persist for a week.
It will. It will.
We don't even, and if it turns into a fight, we don't